I have a very strong philosophy about van life, and that is, it is far more important what the van enables you to do than living in the actual van itself. Since starting van life and being on the van life YouTube space, something that's really frustrated me is that a lot of what's popular on YouTube regarding van life is the van itself. If the point was to live comfortably, then why do van life in the first place? Go live in a home. At this point, I'm 2 months into van life and my build is not even finished. So far, the hardest obstacle has been staying warm on cold nights, and I'm gonna show you exactly how it is I do that. All right, so I got this here Mr. Buddy heater. It's rated for an area much larger than the square footage of my van. And here is my setup. All right, this part's kind of disgusting, but it's just the nature of my situation at the moment. This hole I put in the floor to filter the bad air from my toilet out. There's a fan inside of my toilet that's constantly blowing the poopy air out the bottom of my van. And I unplug the fan and then I cover up the hose with a bag and just sort of set it off to the side. I don't use this thing very often anyway. I'm trying to minimize its usage because it's just kind of disgusting in general. But then I'm left with this empty hole and I feed the propane hose through the floor as such, and then we go outside. I'm not actually supposed to be parked here, but I'm only doing it here for demonstration purposes. Then take my propane tank, grab this here hose, screw it in. That. Let's go back inside. Crank that up to high. Boom. It's also crucially important that I crack the window ever so slightly. I do both windows. So between the oxygen replenishment from my fan and the 2 cracked windows up front, I'm completely safe from carbon monoxide. And as a backup, I do have this carbon monoxide detector that I keep close to my face. If the temperatures are like 45 degrees Fahrenheit or more, then I don't really need the heater. It makes it a little bit too hot. In fact, there was one time I woke up in the middle of the night, like really thirsty and overheating. I checked the temperature from my fan and it said that it was 85 degrees in here. So far, the coldest I've had to endure is about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And the way that I deal with these temperatures is any combination of my sleeping bag, which is rated to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, my regular comforter, and if things are really bad, I can throw my heat blanket in on top of that. I can also dress more warmly, and then obviously I can turn the heater up to high. So between all of these options, I am able to stay pretty warm throughout the night. The hard part is getting out of my covers in the morning, especially whenever I opt not to use the heater. Now I know what you're thinking. But Ryan, isn't there gonna be a lot of problem with condensation? You're gonna get mold everywhere. And yes, condensation has indeed been a problem. This is only a very temporary solution. I'm not gonna do this setup for very long. I did order a dehumidifier that's gonna help with this issue, but honestly, so far I've mostly just tolerated it. My current setup is by no means my long-term solution. I'm basically just trying to make it through this winter. And for sure, before next winter, I'll have completed my build, and it will be a much more elegant solution. Something I promised myself very early on is that I wanted to make my YouTube channel and van life experience about what it enables me to do. and not necessarily van living itself, or like showing off the features and cool little bells and whistles that I incorporate in. I'm pretty much going to be completely utilitarian whenever it comes to finishing out the rest of my build, with the exception of having a cool setup for my piano. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe and comment down any thoughts you may have. For now, I'm going to try to find a spot where this icy lake can support my weight, and I will see you next time. Peace out. It's a no from me.